streaming. Oh, whoops, let me save that. Change is saved. Although we aren't. Does not show anything yet. Oh, there we go. There's my face. There's my baby. So, welcome back to Under Construction. This is another lovely Thursday. The power in my house is working again. I'm your host, Ellis, otherwise known as the Admiral. Today we'll be working on my famous or infamous map, Tolbrand. First, I have a couple of things to show off, although I don't have one of them on hand. The first is hanging up over there. It's my WWF membership card, which just arrived today. Here is my Volvo Club of America membership card, which also arrived today, so that's fun. Today we have a few distinct goals. I believe they should be down in the doodad. Somebody at some point is going to point out that we're doing a stream here, but I think I'll beat them to it. Never mind that D59 lad is in. Comrade. Oh wait, share button is right here. Copy video link. Put it in streaming and recording. Although, I should probably put that in the foam pit. I should probably have a channel dedicated to announcing videos. What's up, Gunda? Not much on my end. We have a few things to do today. We have 2 things in scenery, 2 things under operation, and 1 thing under automation. Which, of course, the automation is going to be the hardest nut to crack. We probably won't finish that today. It's going to be a relearning experience for me. Last time we came through, I think we got rid of just about every track mark except for the ones on the turntables. And let me do this real quick. Always edit in the route layer. Let me create the other 2 session layers while I'm here, though. So we're gonna need this to be trains, or let's see. What about just rolling stock? Although engines and rolling stock, I need a way to name this, and I had a name for it before. It was just seed. The layer was just seed. Add to session, and then auto. Add to session. We're probably not going to be adding much to these. We'll be adding some stuff to seed today, but it's going to be more of a temporary thing. The thing is, the session currently starts at 6 a.m., at which point there should already be trolleys out on the line. I need to figure out the actual scheduling of that soon, though. So here we are in Olive. We have lots of triggers for ATLS crossings, among other things. We have lots of track marks for ATLS crossings, among other things, and whistle posts. We also have a handful of questions from the previous episode, and that I have to cover. Hello there, KS1. Oops, that's the wrong window. Yeah, we have a few things that we can work on. I'm not sure what we're going to do first. I know what I would like to do first, but we should probably get the boring stuff out of the way. That would be, namely, the standards, which I've already started to develop some naming standards, which we will get to in just a minute. We also have some questions, which I will get to as I do the scenery work. So, without further ado, let's try to knock one thing off the board here. As always, you can add questions in the chat. I know there are only a couple of you here right now, but I'm glad you're all here. Let's do... So let me take this off the trains cam specifically, and let's look at my screen here. So, I need to go into my drive, I need to go to Tolbrand, I need to go to Operations, and then Standards. So I started working on some naming standards here, as well as abbreviation standards and other things of that nature. I started working on... Oh, okay. Yeah, just do that, I guess. Nope. No. The pizza guy's here. We just got sandwiches. We normally cook stuff at home, but anyway. So, track marks, triggers, signals, switches, and industry track. Not everything we have right now is going to abide by these standards. That's okay, Lafayette. But everything we build should. I don't think any of the switches are named. Obviously, we don't have any track marks anymore. Sorry, not all the signals are named. The switches should basically all be named, except for stuff like this. But, yeah. You figured out how to get to you.
Yes, I know, I realized this.
Anyway, here's the goodness. Here's the sandwiches. So, I'll go over this briefly. We have the two kinds of abbreviations, railroad, town. So we have our railroad abbreviations, all two-letter, our town abbreviations, which are also going to be all two-letter. Hopefully, we don't need more than these. We may, especially for the locations. And so I thought about changing these to three-letter abbreviations. I don't know what you guys think about that exactly. Let me. Yes, my love.
This is for you.
Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. So I'm sorry that I'm going to be just chowing down in the middle of the show, but man, you guys can chit-chat and whatever. I kind of wish I had some automation ready before this.
What?
Oh my god. I wish I had some automation ready to show off, but I don't. What should I do while I just chow down on this? Who said bells? Oh. Bellis. Good thing we have forks.
Bug Daddy for a bite of his hand.
So I also did have 4 questions from the previous episode. It's just like, I can't do anything while I'm eating. The food just got here. What am I going to do? I don't have the AI to show you guys because we deleted them all.
Come on. Come on.
Oh. For people that wanted more... Hi. More abandoned track, you got some over here. This whole industrial park used to be rail served. Anyway. I'm sorry, I would have liked to have eaten before the show started. It just didn't happen that way. Okay, so. I should turn off my camera for this. These are our standards. For all track marks, it's going to be a railroad designation, a town designation, a description, and then the number. The reason we have a number there is in case I'm using the navigate to track mark list, this will allow us to do that. I'm going to play with these and put out some track marks and triggers while we're at it. But triggers are very similar, except they just say trigger. And in fact, I think I'll just change this to say T. Because what's the point of it spelling out the word trigger? Extra typing. Signals, railroad, town description. Switches are basically the same thing. I don't think. Oh, right. Switches are opposite. Town and then railroad and then description. Industry tracks are done like this. And then we have our abbreviations. I'm admittedly not entirely certain if the two-letter abbreviations are going to be enough. And I'm not, I kind of, if anybody has input about that, if you think I should move to 3-letter designations, which are fairly standard for places, then I will. But the thing is, the reason that I might not do this, if we go back to Olive for a second, we have our interlocking tower here. Olive South interlocking. Although, OSI. Yeah, it doesn't matter what abbreviation I use there. We had some quasi standards earlier. Anyway. You know what? While I eat this, I'm just going to do this. Unpause. Oh, right. I can't see a damn thing because it's 6 in the morning. Can I... I kind of wish I could change the time right now. Just to let me eat my food. Where can I change the, Why have I lost where I changed the time? Oh, it's in environmental settings, right? That's right. And an environment. Oh, wait, can I do that while I'm in driver? Hold on. Hold on. Driver mode. Oh. No, first of all, no, I can't. Second of all, it worked. It's now 11:51. I don't have a quick drive rule on this route. That's right. So that isn't going to work. Hold on, go back to Surveyor. Where is that? Surveyor mode. Let's throw down a train. I don't have my, hold on. Yeah, let's do this. Driver mode. Control F2. How do I add... Nope. How do I add commands to you? Man, I don't know how this works anymore. Nope. Nope, not that. You guys are just watching me flail around here. How do I give this man commands? I feel like a complete moron. No, that's not it. Could I... No. Wait, if I undo that. Nope. How do I give this man commands? Do we have none? That's kind of an important part of doing this. Add new driver. Remove driver. Get off train. Unassigned. Move to destination. What is this little arrow? Change control mode. Aha! It's a different control mode. Alright. I don't have autopilot, do I? Or just drive? Do I have drive? No. Damn it. Okay, fine. We'll say this. Navigate to. This is interesting. Lionhead Flagstaff. Platform 1. There we go. Oh, my speakers are off, too. Oh, and we have an interior view, too. Cool. Alright, you know what? Everybody loves... Oh, this way. Everybody loves leaning out the window when you're way back in the train so you can see it, like, ahead of you. We're just gonna watch the train go for a minute while I eat my sandwich. Fixed frame? What do you mean? You can keep chat up if you just move the window over, but also the stream is hella delayed. So it doesn't matter. Well, I was showing the whole screen for a reason, but you missed it. I had a Word doc open, I was going over some standards. Apparently we have a yellow and then a red. That's why you keep your head inside the train. You can also do this. Get my mouse cursor off. Hello again, Patrick. You can't see my face because I'm demolishing a sandwich. And that's why we're riding this train. What a view. Who's ready to lose in fantasy? I hope you are. The only thing left in my sandwich is bread. Why? Am I gonna choke?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Whoop. There we go. The speed limit drops here because it's a very sharp turn. We didn't make it quite that far now, did we? Oh, this coach is facing the other way. That's why I'm looking out this side. Oh, we've got a green now. Green for glory. I'm going to be honest, the camera transitions are pretty slick now. It's a lot less jarring than it used to be. Baby, did we get pickle spears? I want to know if there are fried pickle spears. Fried pickle spears are in there somewhere. Oh yeah. Pickle spears. There goes the train. I'm waiting for the pickle spears to cool down slightly before I start eating them. Something it did last year, I'll win the division, get destroyed in the playoffs. It's funnier when the opposite happens. Hey, is this the engine that US Sugar just bought? Am I just realizing that now? Am I slow? Come on, Kimmy. Broadway Limited just like it did on Mariah's Pass gobbles. Yeah. Alright, anyway. So we've created our standards. I'm going to have to follow them. We're just going to watch this guy zip through the woods for another minute while I set up for what has to happen next. We're going to be answering some questions from the audience, or from the comments of last episode. Yeah. And we're going to be working on some things for the next about 2.5 hours. So, we do have quite a bit to do. Unfortunately, I'm not on the beta version where I can do both driver and surveyor at once, so I can't let this guy go while I work. But I can do this while I sort of prepare myself to answer these questions. This place, by the way, is called Ashbury Ranch. Everything around here does have a name. This is the ranch in question. And this is an ascending section towards Jefferson's Cut. This I always thought was a really cool area. Get a shot from up on the road. I suppose I could be using the walking camera for this. Oh wait, this isn't even Jefferson's Cut. That's a different spot. Anyway, we got our foliage fix. Jefferson's Cut is up here. Yeah, it's this. We got our foliage fixed now. Now we need to get down to business. You can tell, yeah, this is the high point. I think that's right about here. I remember getting stuck with an I-1 on this 2.5 or 2.15%. And honestly, I should probably lower the speed limit for this trestle. He's already slowing down. Maybe the engineer just wants to take it easy. Oh, there's a bunch of comments since the last time I looked at the comments here. Okay. So I am going to, oh, da-da-da, never call me that again. Can we throw automatically? Ellis, I missed it. Where is this on the peninsula? Okay, so this, I'll just zoom out and show you where we are. We are here. And this is, of course, down by the very base of the peninsula. Oh, I'm looking south. That's north. So the peninsula is shaped like this, you know. Anyway. So we're going to have to delete this train. We're going to have to get him out of here. But he is going to run through Adams, which is, the station for Adams is down here. That's you. And the town of Adams is up here. So, these two different locations. Hi.
Hi.
I'll be back in a little bit. Oh, you're out there. Nice. Yes. I still can't quite... Oh, you know what? Last time I did this, and it helped. See a piat. Alright. I am going to hop back into surveyor mode. And we're going to do some of the scenery work we have to do before, while I answer some questions. So there's you. Get rid of that train. We don't need that. Hooray for Kickstarter County 2, huh? Alright, so... What am I looking at here? Oh, that's right. Okay. Questions. So, starting from the bottom, I guess. It'll be an exercise to exercise. Starting from the bottom, let me get rid of the... If I close the launcher window, does it close the game? No. Cool, that works. Too many things to look at here. Nope, that's not it. That's not it. The Flying Dragon asks, so is the next map going to be the outside of Tolbrent to Temeros? If so, then I think this is going to be a large merger that is going to be super awesome. And Matt says, it's such a big map, that'll be a ways off. As far as I know, it's just planned to be off-map. Well, let's hope it does not remain that way. Okay, so will the next map be to Tolbrent? Or, sorry, to Temeros. Okay, assuming that either I finish this map or I give up on it. One of the two. The next map is probably going to be a dem map, either of what the Iron Horseman Railroad should be, or uh, like something like the main Central Mountain Division. I have become fascinated with a lot of these dems because, frankly, scenery is, well, I don't mind doing scenery. It's not my favorite thing to do. And terrain work is one of the hardest parts of scenery to get right. So, okay, that's going to be difficult. Oh, never mind. It's not going to be too bad. Oh, and the dog is whining. Wait a minute, what's going on here? Do I accidentally have a piece of track that's strung across this? Oh, wait, I have this, the same level as that, and then oh, you're in the right place, more or less. I think I've got to push you to about right there. Lafayette is a good boy. So, yeah, if I were to... Whenever the next map comes, because, you know, God knows, it'll be someday. I'll either finish this or give up on it, or maybe I'll just die. I'll drop dead. And I won't be able to do either of those things. But, yeah, something like trying to build the actual Horseman Railroad in the Pacific Northwest, or trying to rebuild some real-life railroad that I have a fascination of, or that I think would be particularly pretty in trains. Again, I use the example of the main Central Mountain Division, or the B&M Mountain Division. Nope. Because that's the one that just comes to my mind immediately. Nope. 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 Oh, you son of a gun, which one are you? Nope. Aha, gotcha. So this trestle's not done yet, as you can probably tell. I don't think I'm going to do too much more with the scenic work over here. I just really wanted to straighten that bridge out. Like, this is one of the things where I looked at it and went, ugh, I should fix that. One of the other things I do know I need, though, to keep this from being a problem is to put a track mark over here on Bristol Curve. So, oh, I'm missing some texture over here. So, to use our standards, which, again, I just recently created, track marks are railroad town description number. Or, sorry, yeah, railroad town description number. Now, this isn't in a town, so I'm just going to do railroad description number. So this would be in a two-letter description, so Vulgar Mountains, Bristol Cutoff, or sorry, Bristol Curve, VM Bristol Curve. That's actually all I need. Boom, we've got our first track mark onto the new system. Hooray! What's the next question? So let me strike that from my list. I'm going to say Bristol Curve textures is next. Let me save that. But the next thing up was the Olive Scrapyard. So we're going to need a bunch of scrap assets. Let's go back into the scrapyard. Let's go back into Olive. This is just one of the things I happen to notice. If you guys ever notice anything that you're like, hey, that doesn't look right, or that doesn't look complete, or you missed something there, or that's wrong, absolutely say it. I'll put it on my to-do list. We'll get it done. So, this is the scrapyard. This is supposed to be all junk. So, oh, you know what? My camera's off. I need to fix that. Boom. Hey, guys. Hey, what's going on, guys? So let's see. Scrap. Now, this is what I'm talking about. I think I'm just going to scatter all these around. Just a bunch of them. And then, let's see, we have a scrapyard crane. We'll just do this. Scrap buffers. Yeah. 2 pairs of those. Scrap cylinder. Although, in fairness, in this day and age, a scrap boiler would be pretty common to see. Because there were a lot of mill boilers and, you know, mill boilers and even some home boilers. Obviously, it wouldn't be this big, but it wouldn't be that crazy to see. Scrap. Aha! Although that looks a little too... What is this? It's shelves. Somebody threw away perfectly good shelves. If I was in this scrapyard, I would take these home. You know, there seem to be a lot more of these scrap assets than we've got. I'll try to make this just look like a real jumble of scrap metal over here. Sometimes I want things to be lined up, other times not so much. Okay. Yeah, this just looked totally empty before. Like I said, we seem to be missing some scrap items. I'm gonna put this guy over here. Yeah, I'll just bury him in the... Bury a giant orange I-beam in the ground. So let me go over to... Where is... Let's see. Show launch window. Manage content. Scrap. Let's see. Status. Can I get those that are on... Oh, wait. No. I want... Download station. Car scrap. Those are 2 new of cars. Oh, that's not. That maybe is. That isn't. Let's download this. Conveyor, scrap. Oh, wait, no, that's not the kind of scrap that I want. Scrap car in a junkyard. Yeah, sure, download. Junkyard spares. Scrap crane. Scrap steel product. I wonder what that goes in. Iron scrap metal. Oh, it's an icon. Iron scrap yard. Icon. Not helpful. PBR ground rubble scrap. Oh. Yeah, let's download some of those. Download. Pile of scrap. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a big one. RUS scrap metal. Nope, there's not even a picture for that. I feel like I should buy that anyway. Or get that anyway. Scrap 01. I don't know if that's a commodity or what. That is a route. Scrap metal. That is a product. Those are textures. Scrap USRA light mountain. Huh. It's weird. We have all these things labeled scrap, but nothing that fills in what those are. Thomas the Tank Engine, scrap locomotive. Scrap Oliver. Oh, God. Are you guys seeing this? No. You're just looking at that. Oh, well. Alright, well, we got some more scrap. Let's just throw in a cab back there. That's a big cab, damn. Let's see. Scrap metal processing building. See, we used to be able to have the pick list where you could search stuff. Oh wait, is it in here? Nope. Is it in... Nope. Add random scenery. There's find object, but that is not it. Yeah, because where did the pick lists go? Oh, commodity overlays. I can hide those. All right. Yeah, see, this doesn't do what you would hope it would do. Uh, Pile of scrap. I think it's underneath the 4th tab. So this. Oh, search filter. Yeah, there we go. And the location bookmarks. Thank you, Redding 3640. Okay, scrap. This very angular pile of scrap, I might add. Tomb scrap metal. I would make a joke about you being the most helpful the Redding has ever been to anybody, but I feel bad because, you know, you did just help, and then I'd just be sort of ripping on you. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly who you are. If you were in the server and you'd like been in a couple of royales and I knew that, then maybe I would take a shot at that joke. But otherwise, I don't feel comfortable doing that. I don't want to be that mean to somebody that I don't really know. Um, you know, honestly, I think this just pile of dank beams is one of the best assets that we've got. That is giving you the real scrapyard feel right there. Uh, and I keep clicking on the building. I know I don't want the building. RUS scrap metal. I like the photorealistic scrap metal. That's what we need in life. I'm going to put this over here. Like, I know life would be better if I just did all of this as scatter myself, but there is not enough. Let's just sink this into the ground. Oh, that's too far. Industrial scrap tire stack. Yeah, let's put some tires over here. Where I just grabbed a. Oh, there's an upright tire. Is everything downloaded? Yes. I thought I got a tire. What was it? A tire rack or something. Bogey wheel scrap stack. I'll put these inside there. Yeah, that's fine. That makes sense. That looks right. Car scrap. Back here. Alright, while I continue adding this scrap, let's go on to the next comment. So, that was... the TV ARR sounds familiar. What was that from again? Also really excited to see the series back, says Evan Has No Life. And Trainman says, from L's old Zombie Train series. Evan says, alright, thank you. Specifically, I did have a map that was the Tamaros Vale and Anaconda Railroad. And it was one of, I guess, one of the more famous ones, although I don't know if I could really rate one above the other in terms of, like, Geiger Mountains versus the TV and ARR versus, of course, the Iron Horseman Railroad is probably the most famous route that I've made now, not because of itself, but because of course, what took place on it. But, you know, it was a fairly well-known map that I had been working on, and I worked on for quite a while, and then moved on from that because stuff wasn't totally, stuff wasn't really working anymore. I think I lost the route. Or maybe I just decided, oh, it's not worth it, and I got rid of it. Whatever happened. You know what? Could it possibly be a spline? No, it's not a spline at all. I decided to move on from that, but the sort of, I guess you could say the memory of the TV and ARR lived on, because it was so impactful to some people. I think there was like a movement on the Discord server. Hey, Kaiser. there was a movement on the Discord server a little while ago. I think Jader was thinking of trying to recreate the Tamaros Vale in Anaconda. I don't know why you would do that. I appreciate it, but that route was not good. And in the process of creating this route, which is supposed to be one of my better ones, it's supposed to be, I took everything into account and I tried to make things as realistic as possible, except for the trolley system, apparently. Uh, but in doing that, I started, noticing things about my old maps that were not good. I'm 90% sure you just gave on it. I'm sure there's a download link somewhere. Yeah, it sounds about right. I was probably like, you know what, this isn't going anywhere. I think what might have happened was it was just overtaken by doing the Iron Horseman route. And then it came a point where I was like, well, I'm not going back to that. It's been way too long and it wasn't any good. Um, there may be a download link. I don't Honestly, I would be a little bit surprised if a download link that I gave out for the TV and RR still works. I may have a CDP of it somewhere, but I wouldn't put money on that. Somebody somewhere definitely has a CDP, but I'm not sure if that someone is me. Scrap drop off. What are you? Oh. Oh, holy cow. Oh, didn't mean to do that. How big is this thing? Oh, it's like the colon loader super basic. Sometimes I go back and watch the old TV and ARR videos. It's a bit of childhood nostalgia for me. I really appreciate that, and I, I very much appreciate knowing that I'm sort of contributing to somebody's childhood nostalgia. Even if I'm not like super proud of the product. Hey, Dean. If I'm not like, oh yeah, the Timberwolves of Anaconda, what a great route that was. I'm so proud of it. No, but I'm proud of the fact that I worked on it, and I'm glad that there were people out there that really did enjoy it, and that even like you said, short lines still go back to it. I could have sworn there was a download link in one of the videos. Yeah, it probably is. What part of the map is this? This is Olive. We are in. This is the first town I ever built for this railroad. It's also undoubtedly the best town I've ever built. It's got all of this suburbia, which ultimately, oh, it's lagging now. Ultimately, does nothing for the route. It's not functional in any way, but it looks good, and that's what we've got. We've got suburbia. We have a beach community. You've got beach houses and a little beach store. You have these roads that duck down to along the beach. This other little beach community here. Some dunes, and then you've got things like a fire station over there, a ball field, a couple of basketball courts as well. You have a park here with the Olive Pit, which is what this is. Yes, thank you. I'll be here all week. You have a couple of houses that are under construction, obviously, or of course, you've got a playground there. This guy has a little fenced-in garden in his backyard. Most everybody has either fences, usually has both fences and trees. There's this. This goes down to a little maintenance shed for the railroad, or for the highway department, rather. I should add a set of stairs going up that. Then there's this, like, manor house here. This would have been one of the landowners that controlled this land before it was partitioned out to make suburbs. It was a farmhouse. Here's another house that's under construction. There are a couple of churches scattered through here. I think, well, there's at least one. It might just be the one. You've got another, like, smaller apartment building over here. Some areas I got lazy. There's not a lot of detail. But then you get down here. Oh, yeah, here's the other church. This land is being cleared. You've got another little playground. You've got your pump works. Some tennis courts next to the high school, or the school, probably. And the school, of course, has a track and also has a soccer field. Yeah, so there's that. And that's just the suburbia. Like, this has no interaction. It doesn't even have any train tracks unless you count the tiny section of abandoned right-of-way here in the yard of the fire station. So there's that. Yes, my love? What? You have a headache? Go lie down. Go take a nap. Have some water. When I said have some water, I didn't actually intend my water, but if my water makes you happy, then I'm glad you're happy.
What?
Nothing.
What?
I was gonna ask you to get me some more water, but I don't actually want to ask you to get me some more water.
My legs are asleep.
Well, the rest of you should be asleep too. It'll help your headache. Anyway, so this area is your shopping area. Anyway, Kaiser, did I ever fix my electricity? Yes, I did. Earlier today, my dad came by and he did a lot of the work, but I watched and also got distracted by the fact that some of my circuit breakers are 40 years old. 45, minimum. They're by a company that got bought out in 1976. So, they're not any younger than that. Alright, back to the scrapyard. And answering this question actually, not the question of where we are, but answering the question of, there is some PBR texturing. Answering the question of, the temporal surveillance and anaconda actually does sort of, oh wait, I don't have to, this is one I don't have to, doesn't PBR mean it's like bumpy? I'm not seeing it. Doesn't look bumpy to me. That looks very realistic, but not bumpy. Huh. What am I doing wrong? So, rolls into one of the other comments, which was about narrow gauge. Actually, there are two more comments about narrow gauge. Flying Dragon, I'll come back to you. Mopac82 asked, I ran across an older episode of Under Construction where you said there wouldn't be any active, excuse me, now I've got the hiccups, narrow gauge on the map. So what happened between then and the rebirth of the Geiger Mountains Railway? So, oh boy. One might say I was overcome by nostalgia. Others might say that I lost my mind. Or was taken over by scope creep. How do you texture your routes? I can always make the route itself. My towns are less decent looking, but I can never really texture too well, so any help is useful. Christopher Wood, I'm going to write this down and we'll get back to it. We'll do some texturing later in the show if you hang on, alright? I appreciate the question. Let me just space it out in my document here. That was Christopher Wood. So, what happened? Well, it's funny, yes, 2 foot is what the people wanted, but the Geiger Mountains is 3 foot gauge. The fact of the matter is, I just got to a point where I was like, thinking about those old routes and what was good about them and what was bad about them, and realizing that, yeah, you know what, a lot of them do hold a really special place in my heart. The Geiger Mountains, among them, certainly, possibly, one of the strongest, because, well, unlike the TV and ARR, as previously mentioned, as far as I can remember, the Geiger Mountains was lost. It wasn't something where I said, well, I'm not working on this route anymore. I went to reinstall Trains 2006, and the route was no more. So, because of that, it's always been almost like a white whale. It's been something, Geiger Mountains, Shane, what happened to it, yeah. It's been something that, like, I've thought about for a long time, like, ooh, I really do miss that railroad, and if I got the chance, maybe I'd go back to it, because Yeah, it wasn't great in terms of track work. Honestly, it was pretty mediocre. But, uh, oh, I can do this! Oh my god, I got an idea. Oh, too far. Oh, you can see that's not great. Alright, whatever, I'll do this. Hold on, I got it. I got it, I got it. Oh, wrong button. Uh, but you know what? Maybe I'm just crazy enough to try and recreate the Geiger Mountains. I think there's a good place for it. There's a big empty space on my map. So I think there's a half decent place for me to work on the Geiger Mountains, or to bring back the Geiger Mountains on this railroad. Oh yeah, on this route rather, and have it be a reimagining and make it better than ever. Again, half of it was that I never really got to say goodbye. Half of it was the fact that I did in fact achieve something in Geiger Mountains which I've never done before or since, which is I had the entire map automated. I had the entire map. Every single train had a schedule that it ran itself. And you guys know that I'm trying to get back there in this world. You have to name a name. You have to name a name Temeros. To name a name Temeros. I assume a town, you mean? I assume you mean a town? There will... See, the thing that I showed off... Okay, yeah. The thing that I showed off last time was the full map of Tolbrin and what Tolbrin is supposed to be and where it's next to. Temeros, if you follow this track north, you will end up on the south end of the TVNARR map. You won't end up on the railroad itself. You can't get there from here exactly, but you will end up on the south end of the map. So, if you look at the... I'll show off again the map at the end of the show, perhaps. And I'm getting a phone call. And I probably can't answer this. Yeah, no, I can't answer this. If I show off the map at the end of the show again, you will see that Temeros is up there. It is, we are directly adjacent to that railroad and that map. How far do I really want to go with this in terms of scrap metal? In terms of scrap stuff? This scrap that I've got is probably the best that I could, best that I could ask for. But of course, just throwing together all these boxes and crates. You can tell it's the same asset over and over again, but I don't really have a ton of choice here. Let's see if I can find another... Nope. Just cars. Just cars and cars and cars. Scrap buffers. What was I saying? I was saying something about how, yeah, I decided that I could fill in a big old gap in the map by trying to recapture the magic. Clutter is a good one. Clutter is a good one. Clutter? Well, that's not how you spell clutter at all. See, it's gonna be all barrels and stuff. Let's see. I mean, we've got grass. Gravel clutter mesh. No, that's not it. Clutter of sleepers. Sleeper pile poles. Saddle tank. I mean, that's interesting. Try derelict. Oh yeah, that's right. I think I have derelict. There's a derelict workshop. I didn't think the Geiger Mountains... Didn't the Geiger Mountains have a super steep grade, or was that the narrow gauge of the Temeros? So, the answer to both is yes. There was an incredibly steep grade on the Geiger Mountains Railroad. That would be something like a 20% leading up to the coal mine from the base station. Maybe it wasn't 20, but it was really out there. It was more than a locomotive could reasonably be asked to get up, without having a cog rail underneath it. And that was one of the things where it was like, yeah, you know what, I definitely have room to improve on the old Geiger Mountains. And because, like, okay, you could say the spiritual successor to the TV and ARR is Tolbrand. And you could say the, uh, effectively then the excuse for adding the Geiger Mountains again would be that the spiritual successor to the Geiger Mountains then would also be Tolbrand. So it let me kill two birds with one stone on this map, and it let me have that juicy dual gauge interaction that everyone loves so much. The narrow gauge on the TV and ARR also had some pretty rough grades. I'm thinking like 5% or so, but not as absurd as the uh, handful of the grades on the uh, Geiger Mountains. Now, the difference was that the Geiger Mountains grades, holy cow, the Geiger Mountains grades were, spot grades, or one particular section where things were particularly bad. But the TV and ARR, I just set like a ruling grade of 5% for the entire narrow gauge line. And I was like, no, so that means I can work up to 5% and not be mad at myself, and not have to fix it. So I just did. I did as much as I could with that, which, definitely caused some problems because, I mean, let's face it, those grades are ludicrous. Uh, but at the very least, it wasn't as bad on the spot as some of the alternatives. So yeah, that's what happened. I mean, it just there's sort of, yeah, narrow gauge Saluda. There sort of became a moment where I decided, you know what, I'll do narrow gauge, and I'll do narrow gauge in such a way that I have created or recreated something that I've always wanted back. You know, uh, derelict person. Oh, all right. Uh, oh, that's a lot of cans. Let's put this somewhere. This is starting to look like a scrapyard. Do you prefer Malays or simple expansion steam locomotives? I think that's or. Yeah, it's an or. See, I don't know Malays explicitly. All right, so I know Malay means something specifically, but all the time that I've used the term Malay, it's been as a very catch-all term for things that have more than one set of drivers and are also articulated but aren't Garrett's. Uh, so, I mean, I guess to answer your question, I do prefer. Yeah, I do prefer double expansion engines, compound engines. I think they're really cool. I think they're really neat. And as a bonus, you get engines with just gigantic cylinders, and it looks hilarious. Look up like the PRR. I think it's a PRR CC1 or CC2. I can't. It's one of those two. I think it might be the CC1. That is just absurd. It's gigantic. It's got. Yeah. Roll over. It's got giant front cylinders. And every time I see it and I giggle. I love that engine so much, and I hope that one day it shows up in a Royale, because then I'll get to see how bad it is, because it's obviously not going to be a good engine. But think of Malays as compound articulated. Yeah, and that makes sense to me. I don't, you know, I feel like if I set the thought process aside, I can be like, okay, yeah, you know what, that is the KKS STB from the Steam and Royals route. I could definitely sit here and go, yeah, okay, Malay is Malay. Malay means you've got the different things. But when people are like, oh, I brought the D&H Challengers, and then they call them a melee, I'm not going to correct them on it, because in my mind, it's the same thing. You're talking about realistic track work earlier. How do you make realistic track work? So I'm going to throw this in, and we can... I don't have a lot of track work to build right now, but maybe I can do some adjustment to the Mason Valley Transit Company, and that'll do with some track work. I'm going to write this down, of course. Thank you, Redding. Oh, Redding, ING. 3640 Studios. If I don't get to your comment or question by the end of the video, I'll be all over it next video, I promise. Well, I so solemnly swear. I don't like to make promises because I feel like this is a personal thing. I'm about to get a little philosophical. I'm sorry for those of you that don't come here for this. I feel like if you intend to stand by your word, and you really mean standing by your word all your life, a promise shouldn't mean anything extra. If you say, hey, I'm going to do something, it shouldn't be any different than, hey, I'm going to do something, I promise. I know, and I've realized as I've grown up, I guess, that a promise isn't necessarily for the person on the giving end of it, but I'd like to think that I can be trusted enough that I can be taken at my word when I say I'm going to do something, and I don't have to promise to do it. But the other thing is I used to say that I didn't make promises because I can't predict the future, and God knows what's going to happen. You know, I can't... I'd feel really bad if I, like, oh, you know, we'll do this next week, I promise, and then next week I accidentally burn my house down or something, and, you know, I can't make it to the video. So... Not that that would be even remotely in, like, sort of realism. I wouldn't burn my house down. On purpose. There's a mattress in that car. Derelict concrete. Oh, derelict. You could have put this in a steam engine. What a waste. What a waste, guys. To answer your question really quickly, Redding, I talked about, or I briefly showed off, I briefly showed off how I make good-looking curves, or at least my philosophy for making good-looking curves, last episode at some point, and I know that's a lot to sift through, but it's in there. I believe it's towards the beginning. Part of me wishes I would go back and, like, timestamp when I answer the questions, but unfortunately, I don't want to try to make a habit of doing that because I know that I'm never going to have enough time to always do it. I know that if I start doing it now, there are going to be some episodes with and some episodes without, and it's going to end up... Flying Dragon, you missed me answering a bunch of your comments. What the heck is that? Furphy. You mostly just missed me adding this. Although, I think I want to do... Oh wait, no, this is supposed to be the building for the scrapyard, so that's why there isn't... That's why it isn't fenced off or anything. Oh, let me add another one of these racks back here. Could put stuff on this rack. I totally forgot what I was saying, though. Oh, right, yeah, sometime last video, and I'm not going to go back and timestamp the videos, because I know I don't have enough time week to week to go back and timestamp the videos. Yeah. If you're sifting through, you'll be able to tell, because it's when I'm working on the test world, which is just like an empty grid. Admiral's Trains tutorial series. Guy, believe it or not, that's part of the reason I started this series as it is. This was supposed to be one of two. No, it's fine. I get it. I understand what you mean. If you can't italicize, which you may not be able to do on YouTube comments, something that you might want to do is just add like a slash before and after, because that sort of like indicates italics, I guess. I don't know. I had some friends that did that. I'm not going to have any... Oh, wait. You know what? Let's put a shack over here. yeah, I'm not going to try to promise much of anything, but I am going to try to get to any comments, uh, any comments that I don't cover, any questions that I don't cover or comments that I don't cover. Uh, Flying Dragon, I have answered a couple of your comments. The only one I haven't gotten to is this. And Christopher Wood, I'll get back to that if I don't see it again. Let me know. You asked, are you going to make an abandoned track in the narrow gauge? And my answer is, I don't think the narrow gauge has. The narrow gauge is about at its peak. Um, maybe just maybe you're right, guy. Um, the narrow gauge is about as its peak, meaning at its peak, meaning it probably doesn't have a too many abandoned sections, if any. The thing with the Geiger Mountains is it also didn't really have any abandoned sections. Like, there were a couple of small connecting tracks that were abandoned, but you could still drive through them if you so decided. Uh, there's a cardboard box on the ground. You know what? I think this is good. I'm going to leave this for now. We're good with this. I'm going to mark this off. Olive Scrapyard. Goal, scenery, MVTC tracks. Although, yeah. Yeah, you know what? I'll count that under scenery. Although, maybe I should do it, construction. I'm sure. Yeah, so there probably won't be too much, if any, abandoned track on the narrow gauge. You doing a scrapyard? Yeah, no, I finally came back to Olive to finish this. Um, otherwise, I think Olive is basically done. I don't really have anything else I want to do here. Wizard require 2 cabs. Both Reading and the CNJ made it work with just 1 cab. If the ICC banned having multiple cabs and steel locomotives, well, that'll sure force you into making that work, huh? So, yeah, I don't think we're going to have too much, if any, abandoned track on the narrow gauge, on the 3-foot gauge anyway. I think all the 2-foot gauge that you see on this railroad, unless it's like a tramway or something, is going to be abandoned. I'm not saying anything for certain, because I've proven myself wrong before, but I think that's going to be the way it is. So I need to work on the track work here for this. For the MVTC. Well, you say that Olive is done when there isn't any space. Well, you say that Olive is done when there isn't any space for improvement. I mean, there's tons of room for improvement. Being honest, there is so much room for improvement. Olive is kind of a mess. It is very... I know 2-foot is what the people want. It is very... what's the word? It's very simple. Like, the scenery could be a lot more just detailed. And it's... I don't know. Okay, so here's the thing. I will... Don't worry, I'll blame the CNJ just fine. Here's the thing. Tyler pointed out, hey, when interurbans existed, they tended to run on their own right-of-way, not just on the roads for the whole length. And part of me, then Olive isn't done. Yeah, well, no model railroad is ever done by that metric. Part of me is like, yeah, you're right. But the other part of me is like, first of all, I'm writing the history such that the reason the road and the railroad are in the same spot is at least as justified as you're going to get it. And 2, there isn't a lot of room over here. I mean, you could extend this out a little bit. And part of me does want to straighten it out at least a little bit. But then you induce all of these instances where, the trolleys are like leaving the track here to go over here. I mean, I guess you could bring it inland here. There's no other space to put a railroad. Yeah, I know. It's Random question, but is this on the east or west coast of the U.S.? Neither. It's its own world. Uh, in fact, part of me wants to. Okay, I'll get to this extended universe thing later. Uh, yeah, so I'm trying to think about where do I want to. If I want to pull this track off of the uh, off of the road, where am I best to do it? I mean, what I would probably do is pull it off here and then just run it this way, sort of either, on an embankment here and then over this hill, basically in as straight a line as I can get it. All right, yeah. If I don't like this, we're just going to keep it the way it is. Up the hills, not over them. Wait. Uh, Up the hills, not around them. That's the thing. On an urban, you could argue the line came first, and the road was built on top due to limited space. So, the thing that I was actually thinking, Guy, is that the interurban came first. Or sorry, no, the road came first, but the interurban was directly caused by town intervention, and they said, "Hey, you can do it on the cheap. You can just put it right on the road." And the interurban went, "Sure, why not?" Considering the interurban is most likely dead in 5 years, I'd want to have the line rather than just follow the road just off to the side. Interurbans were meant to cut down on costs. Yeah, I'd want to have the line rather follow the road just off to the side. See, yeah, it's just, yeah, the engineering costs of this are not the kind of thing. It's just, I'm really happy with the way this all is built. What is missing here? Did I bury a track by accident? What did I do? What happened? There's some invisible track here that shouldn't be invisible. Is there any freight on this interurban? Yes. There is one customer. I will show you that in a minute. What is going on here? Oh, get out of here. Hold on. I don't want derelict track, thanks. Can I get rid of this for now? Thank you. Please don't crash the game. Uh-oh. Uh-oh! Oh, okay. I thought I had just broken it for good. Okay. There's another one gone, another one gone. Another one bites the dust. The interurban does freight. Yes, just a tad. Just a spot of freight. It's true, definitely pretty good. Honestly, I like it as is. I think some real world examples were built like this. I think there were definitely some. They may not have been all on the road, but they also were probably not as short. The other thing to take into consideration here, this is only a couple miles long. It's a really short interurban, and it not only will, and it was never ever bigger than this. We've got to make that kind of also happy specific SSW locomotive day. Oops, that's the wrong track. Okay, so to answer the question, hold on, back to favorite type of firebox. Belpaire and Wooten are some of my favorites, so for me the Wooten just wins out due to the size need for a secondary cab. So, I don't really like Wootens, partially because I don't like Camelbacks. I think they look stupid, and because of that I've always held a meaningless grudge against them. I think Belpairs are cool. Like, I'm obligated to like Belpairs because I like the Pensy. I don't have a choice in the matter. If I don't like them, the standard people will show up at my door and beat me to death. So, I like Belpairs. But I also don't have anything against your regular old firebox design. So, oh my god, I just realized when I was doing that, my neck and back are so very tight. They're toy. But, you know, I think... Can I make an excuse to run the interurban a different way? From, like, here. Just run it this way so that I dodge this, and I just put, like, a little culvert pipe here. Because then I could show you about building... Yeah, we'll do that. It's going to be annoying, but we'll do it. And it'll make Tyler happy. And if Tyler's happy, that means I get more seasons of Locomotive Royale out of him before he kills himself. So, that wasn't funny. First things first, I need to get these guys out of here. Oh boy, this is going to be a mess. Is the consumer like a brick factory? The consumer is a place called Monkey Bananas Limited, I believe. Why is it every time I delete a track, my computer has an aneurysm? Alright, we'll straighten that because straight curve straight is the way to go when you're working on track. I need to lower this slightly because you can see that it's covering over the other one. Monkey Bananas Limited. Hold on. Let me show you. The Interurban used to serve all these customers over here, but now it just serves this guy. So, obviously you'll notice that this is not electrified. The Interurban has a smattering of PCC cars and also a 44-tonner, and that's it. I needed... This area, of course, is not done yet. There's no, you know, power lines over to here. Seems like a normal company name to me. Yeah, right? Oh god, I've got the hiccups again. Oh, I'm just burping. Just burping everywhere. I'm noticing that there is missing trolley wire here as well. Nope. Alright, whatever. We need to get back to working on the track. You know what? I'm very happy with the way that... No, screw it. We're just going whole hog. We'll just do it. WTF, the Interurban has a drawbridge? Yes, it does. It has a bridge, it has a drawbridge. I mean, it has several bridges, but it also has a drawbridge. Okay. So right now we have this heading into a mountainside. That is generally bad practice for railroad construction. But today it's not going to bother us. Do I want to have a 2-spline curve here just to make life easier? I think I might. Because now I'm just adapting this. Although, I realize I don't need to dodge this pole. Add a track mark there. Or, sorry, a thing. Delete that. Weird aneurysm problem. That's for tourists. No, it's not. The North Shore is not for tourists at all. Oh, wait. North Shore. Wait a minute. I'm thinking of the South Shore. I'm thinking of the South Shore. Ignore me. It is. But, whatever. Unimportant. Please just let me adjust this subtly. The electroliner used it. Okay, hold on. I need to lower this slightly. When you're doing crossings like this, your spline point height matters so much. When you're doing double track, you want to make sure all your adjacent spline point heights are the same. That's another thing to take care of. And honestly, I should just be doing... Nah, screw it. We'll just leave it like this. It looks kind of ridiculous, but We're going to leave it like this for now. Can I pull that out so it covers the end of the sidewalk? Yes, I can. That works. Why is this like this? Oh, because I did set this up for bidirectional signaling, even though I did not need to. Oh, wait, no. I'm dumb. Wait, what? How come this one isn't lit up? That's strange. What's going on with you? Can I put something down here and... So they bring bananas? Yes, they bring bananas. Let me just throw down a... You. Oh, nope, you. The other way. How come the signal doesn't work? Maybe it's broken, maybe it's faulty or something. If this one works, this one doesn't. Hold on. I'm just going to delete and replace the signal, I guess. We aren't dealing with any monkey business up in here. God damn it. Yeah, it's broken. Whatever. Alright, I'm over it. I'm over it. Okay, so this interurban is going to parallel the road. It's going to go up here. And it's going to kind of stay high so that it can avoid that. So we'll be doing two things here. The first one is building decent track. The second is building decent track in the face of existing terrain, which is also hard. GameStop Banana Company. Yes. I need the track from over here. Actually, I probably could have... It was probably behind me. It was probably behind me. I am still using Tane track because I like this. I like this track. I like the stock. The issue is... Just have to delete that. Yeah. No two ways about it. I just had to delete it. Okay. And you too. So that deleted the speed sign. Also kind of an issue. And it deleted the signal. I don't remember which signal that was on this track. Well, I assume it was just one of these, but left. Damn it, wrong button. So where do they get the bananas? Good question. Probably off map somewhere. I don't think we have a banana farm on the map. I don't think I plan on having a banana farm on the map anyway. Let me get this. They get their bananas from the trees. Yes, that's accurate. So that's right. We will do... You're talking about realistic track work. How do you make realistic track work? I mean, I can show you a bit of a tutorial on what I do for realistic track work. Add banana farm. I don't think we have the climate here for a banana farm. Going to be ultimate journey. Alright, so... Here... Oh wait, this is supposed to be a 30, that's right. Okay, so that looks ridiculous. Just watch out for the balloons. Oh, God. I understood that reference. Just up here, make the climate for the banana farm. I am God. I mean, I can do what I want, but... okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is just lay some preliminary track. A couple of splines will do. I know that I wanted to end up basically level with the road up here. My throat's already getting sore. And we're only halfway through. That's bad. Maybe I need to start doing drinking iron brew like Drakenfell. Okay, so the thing that's also very useful here is gradients. Ideally, this gradient and this gradient will be the same. So this one is currently about 10%. Is it? Okay, it doesn't update until I move the camera now. That is not helpful. That is very problematic. Oh, never mind. There we go. Oh, that's going to be such a pain. Greenhouse equals bananas. Yeah, that's fair enough. I'm not going to make the bananas, though. So we would like these to be the same. Nope, now it's 6.3. Gonna take a bit of trial and error. That's probably as close as we're reasonably going to get it. The only thing to consider here is that when I do my magical tool, this guy, it doesn't cover the road. That's good. Alright, so now I need to put that there. Oh, that does. Son of a gun. Okay, next problem. So we're trying to match the road. But we could also just match our old track because we know that matched the road. So I can grab your vertex height and do that. Then the only thing I have to do is figure out what this vertex is at. So I know I'm too high, so let's try to lower it. So how do they get the bananas in the map? By port? Oh, probably through one of the staging yards. It's entirely possible they would come from a port because they are bananas. It would make sense for them to come from that far away. But they could just come from somewhere else by train. Alright, so now that we've figured that one out, Miatzbiak. Okay, now that we've figured that one out, and we'll relocate the power lines later, don't you worry. So how do they get the bananas on the interurban? I would think that what happens is the bananas perhaps come off a boat. How old is the owner of Monkey Banana Limited? Does his son inherit the family business? You guys are awfully concerned about these bananas. You guys are going to try to drive me, you guys are driving me bananas. Anyway. So, I am employing straight track wherever I can. And I'm talking about not just straight and straightened, but also straight, because it helps me line it up with the grid. So, yeah, we are using the cues from the road to help us figure this out. I'm trying to keep it close to the side of the road. I gotta add an Easter egg at that place. I think the place is the Easter egg at this point. So the thing is, the road has this gradual curve in, which railroads would not have. As a matter of fact, this would probably either stay due straight until they decided it was time to make a turn, which is a possibility. We can just do that. Or I will literally a 10-page document about Monkey Banana Limited just to answer these questions. Listen, oh man, I don't know where access to the wiki for Tolbrand is, and there isn't a ton of information out there yet. The wiki is just a bunch of documents I have, but you could totally write just a backstory of Monkey Bananas Limited You can totally go bananas. Just go bananas. Uh, yeah. So how will they get here? Okay, so it's gonna be at least two different railroads and probably a boat. So assuming they come in by ship, which they most likely do. And now I'm going to check to make sure that this curve is smooth, which it is absolutely not, because this is not straightened. Now let's check how smooth it is. No, not even close. So, using the faint blue line there, we are going to figure out where this spline point goes. Now it seems relatively smooth. And I honestly think this needs to go further down. The dog is with Gloria. It's still not perfect. And in fact, one of the things that I can probably do is move this back like that. To get this back to level with the ground, what I'll do is I will remove the gradient, and I will hit that once more. And that being so much further back, a longer straight section here. So assuming they come in a boat, they're either going to come into Geiger City, which is the largest city on the map, or they're going to come into Jefferson, which is basically north staging. So Jefferson is in that direction, up that way. So they'll come in through north staging here. This block is north staging. So you'll have a reefer load of bananas, or pallets of bananas. Sorry, I've been sitting on my foot. It's now asleep. That cargo will get handed over to... If it's coming from Geiger City, it'll get handed over to the New Shoreham Tramway, which will then bring it into the standard gauge, or the mainline railroads. If it's coming in through Jefferson, it'll either get handed over to the Volga Mountains Railroad, or more likely, it'll get handed over to the Gilson Eastern. You notice curve, straight, curve, straight. Once it's in the hands of those respective railroads, it'll eventually still need to get in the hands of the Gilson Eastern. The Gilson Eastern will then bring it all the way to Mason's Landing. It's some more complicated stuff. I thought the biggest city was Gilson. Gilson City. Gilson City. I might have said Geiger City, which not right. That's the old one. So Geiger City. It would go on to the Gilson Eastern Railroad. The Gilson Eastern Railroad would bring it to Mason Valley, which is that town over there. It would then get placed on the siding, the interchange siding, where the Mason Valley Transit Company, that is this interurban I am working on here, would come and pick it up at its leisure. I'm just double checking that this is a smooth curve. Bananas go from train to train, yes. Can I grab a spline point of this? No. What about that? Yeah, I can grab that, but not super helpful anyway. See, because now this was changing elevation, this was not. So let's do it this way, shall we? Go here, grab this, 1665. So yeah, it would then be placed on the interchange track. And from there, it would get picked up by the Mason Valley transit company and brought over to the industry. Oh, that's not good. I'm gonna have to lower this slightly. Yeah, I do. I will. Nope, a little more. Oh, too much, I think. That's better. And this needs to be properly fixed. There we go. I think I want to pull this back because I think the transition to this curve is too sharp. Will there be a track or railroad where they serve only one thing? I mean, does that count? There are going to be some of the major railroads that are almost exclusively dedicated to one thing, which would be coal, for example. I don't like how this is turning out. That's right, because I didn't want to stay on the level with the road. I wanted to go up. So I don't know why I'm doing this. Back it way up. Everybody say way-o. Alright. So, get it to the point where I undo that. Now we want to follow the contour of the land a little bit more here, which means I need to remove the gradient from these. Need to put this up here. Way-o. Thank you. Thank you, Evan has no life. In short, you're saying every company just cares about coal. No, I'm saying there is a company that is more like the N&W in that they have basically a commodity that they do a lot of, like more than anything else. Like the vast majority of their revenue comes from their coal traffic. That is the Zion and Skyline. They're on the south end of the peninsula, and we probably won't see them for a very long time. But they do exist. Okay, now we need the mini-map again, because we need to make some adjustments. I need this tool, thank you. But as for companies that only do one thing, and one thing only, I don't actually know. I don't think we're going to necessarily have anybody that is that, you know, what's the word? That focused. Although, you know, there probably will be some, like, quarry railroads or something. You know, that's why I'm saying if we have 2 foot in the map, it's going to be like an industry railroad, a tramway, or something like that. I know why coal is so profitable because 90% of glucose runs on coal. Yeah, among other things in this day and age. Lots of things run on coal in this day and age. Gilson City Electric Railway. So that would sort of fall under the purview of the New Shoreham Tramway Company. Should be writing this stuff down too. I'm going to do gradient value of 1%. That's another thing you can do. You can use this gradient tool to, I haven't seen the series since like 2017, so I forgot like all of them. I'll show off the map at the end of the show, and we'll talk about the different railroads and what we've got going on. Is there something government-owned? Not to my knowledge. Although maybe MVTC if you stretch it a little bit. I haven't gotten to that part in history yet. There are quite a few. There are a good... Ooh, whoops. There are maybe like 5 or 6 what you would call class 1s, among other things. How far down are we here? Oh, that is way too far down. I need to be going up much steeper. At least from here or so. Let's try 1.5. Apply gradient. Apply gradient. Now how far down are we? Nope. Although, you know, if I end up sort of parallel with them, that's kind of okay. I just don't want to be spending too much in earth moving when, you know, basically there's a perfectly good road right there that we could have used instead. You know what, that isn't too bad. Let's just see how this looks. The curve is a little bit wonky. Not so great, but not too bad. Let's see if I can get it looking a little bit better. Push this in a little bit, push this back a little bit. Like so. No, that's not doing it. I might have to make this a broken back curve. Which means I add another spline point and make it like two small curves next to one another. If you press F9, you can see through the ground. Oh, you know what? That's actually a good point. I forgot about the wireframe. I did forget about the wireframe. Thank you for reminding me. Redding, you've been very helpful today. That's why I'm doing track work for you. It takes a lot of adjustment and looking at it and going, does that look right? And usually saying no and then adjusting it more. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to get rid of the spline point in the middle because I want a straight piece here. The reason I did that instead of just moving one of the spline points is because that'll maintain the elevation of those 2 points. What's up, Mopac82? I answered your question earlier in the stream. I was talking about how what ended up happening was I missed the Geiger Mountains too much, so I decided to bring it back. I never got to say goodbye to it. I never got over that breakup. Oh, that's too close to the edge there. Too close to the... Although, yeah, it's too close. Push this in just a little bit. Maybe that was too much, but we'll find out. So what did you say about my question of the outside of the map? As in what I'm building next? You never got over it, as in the lag in Lag City. Yeah, the lag is so bad I still haven't gotten over it. Need a drink. Out of water. That's all I've got. When my voice is gone, it's gone for good. So I'm actually going to make it flat from here, I think. As a matter of fact, I might kill the gradient, like so. Is the fail train coming back too? Man, who knows? Maybe it is. One of the tasks for me today was to start doing the AI for the Mason Valley Transit Company. And I don't know if that's going to happen today, but I do know that, man, will we have the like, return to the fail train. The episodes can't get through the lag, yeah. Let's give us a nice broad curve. Yeah, so we're going to have some earthworks or something over here. because I've got to get from here across the way to there, just about. I don't like how this is turning out. I genuinely don't. I liked it better on the road. Uh, Artworks, you mean aqueducts? No, I mean like earthworks. That's a lot of texts. 7 years ago, move-in day at RPI. That's funny. Uh, hmm. I might... See, the other thing is, I'm trying to keep a certain distance from the tracks to the edge of the tiles. And if I do that... If I do that over here... If I go as far this way as I want to, I'm going to have to build another tile of scenery over here. I don't want to do that. At least not right now. Where your thing is a train whistle respect. Yeah, it's actually... I'm pretty sure it's the one from Locomotion, too. So, there's that. I mean, at the very least, you can see that the track has turned out pretty well. Using straight curve, straight methodology, except for right here is kind of wonky. The broken back curve is not great, but better than the alternative, I guess. I guess this is what happens when you don't plan ahead enough. If I was ascending, it would look really cool. But I think... How much time you have on Locomotion? God knows. I have no way of knowing how much time I have on Locomotion. I'm going to be completely honest about that. See, I like the position of the track that we ended up with. I just don't like the, well, the height of it. And I'm thinking maybe right here, or maybe right, yeah, maybe right here I stop the incline. Apply gradient. Oh, wrong way. So where is this? That's not too bad. I think you should tally up all the videos that I've ever played in Locomotion, like all of my Locomotion videos, and then at least double that. Because I spent an absurd amount of time in Locomotion when I was younger. I mean, think about it. It came out in 2004. I started making videos in it in like 2012, maybe a little later than that. That gives me so much time to just play Locomotion with impunity, with no one to tell me no. Well, I mean, there were plenty of people to tell me no, but nobody keeping track of it anyway. Okay, so we're going to make this into one very broad curve, I think. The whistle is CN3254 when it's whistle cracked. Yeah. That's not the first time somebody has mentioned to me that that's 3254, which makes me even happier because both 3254 as an engine and Blount as a character and Blount as a person hold a special place in my heart. It was the 80s and 90s. Wow, that's an old recording. Alright, this is looking a little bit better. In fact, I might even up the speed limit on this section to be maybe 50. Depending. I know even that was an actual locomotive whistle. I know, right? I sort of always thought about it as like, oh, it's that missile. Oh, you're starting to think that Blount was named after the man, the myth, the legend? You are correct, my good sir. Uh, well, I don't know why you put single player on your locomotion series. I don't know what you mean by that. Locomotion is mostly single player. Um, Locomotion multiplayer is honestly, it's great. It wasn't at all ahead of its time or anything like that. Like everything it does, OpenTTD kind of does better, or TTD, just the multiplayer. Uh, First time I heard it was Locomotion. I mean, 3054, one of the most popular whistles on any Steam engine. Yeah, you know what? I would argue that yes, that does actually mean that. It means that it is very possible that more people have heard 3254's whistle than have ever laid eyes on 3254 as a locomotive. Uh, so, food for thought, I guess. All right. We have a little bit of an S-curve there. I'm going to see what this looks like if I just make it flat. Time to script the new game of locomotion, yeah. Well, I mean, what was it? OpenLoco has been making some very wonderful progress in terms of, in terms of scripting, or re-scripting locomotion. What were we talking about? From where? Oh, my phone. My phone, Matt. Matt has physically been here for my phone, so he knows what we're talking about. He just doesn't know he knows. I'm trying to make sure, if I want to make this flat, I'm trying to make sure these spline points are not too high off the ground. This one obviously is a different problem entirely, but yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to go straight over this hill and to here, and then we will rejoin the road. From the phone or just scripting a new locomotion game? I mean, I think I'm just saying, like, locomotion in train games, or sorry, locomotion's multiplayer as far as train games go. And honestly, I feel like there are some train games out there that, yeah, that could definitely uh, score some points in terms of pretty revolutionary graphics. Uh, the original Trains, yeah, I would argue that the original Trains, or maybe even 2006. 2006 was maybe way ahead of its time in terms of the surveyor and, being able to create your own maps. There are not too many games. I'm going to need more water. There are not too many games where you can just build your own maps like you could in Trains 2006. I'm talking like not until, I mean, I'm biased, but the first thing I can think of is Forge in Halo. It's like, oh yeah, now you can build your own maps that you can just play on just the same as and make them almost indiscernible from normal maps. Oh, excuse me. No, I want this to be flat, if at all possible. Oh, I can't remove the end vertex. That's not what I was trying to do. I was trying to do that. How high is... Oh, that's up high. Oh, that's way up high. Hmm. Guy, I think you're right about that. I have actually heard I've heard that again and again and again. So I'm under the impression that that is true. Games from start to finish was always ahead of its time. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I think as far as train games go, it's always had a very important niche in the community and in the hierarchy of train games because it's a sort of low barrier to entry of creativity that a lot of other train games don't necessarily have. Like a lot of them, there are a lot of really good games out there. From Railworks to Run 8, there are a ton of incredibly good, on the spectrum from realistic to just plain fun. It revolutionized itself. I don't know about the industry. Uh, just plain fun, blah, 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 blah. Railworks candidates on Trains got multiplayer where they think 09. Yeah, but I don't think a Trains 09 multiplayer worked for crap. I didn't. I never had Trains multiplayer working, like properly working. At least I never witnessed it until basically 2019. And that's not like a dig on the other Trains games with multiplayer. I'm not trying to say that, oh, they're so bad. I'm just trying to say I don't think it really, like, it had it, but it didn't have it. It had it, it was advertised to have it, but it did not have, like, functional multiplayer by any stretch of the imagination. I need to finish thoughts before moving on to the next one, because it's not working for me. Because I'm not currently doing that. It's causing messes in my brain. I'm not actually finishing singular thoughts. And it sets a bad precedent if I respond to every single comment. Like every single statement. Because I know I'm not going to be able to do that forever, especially if we end up with more of you guys. Alright, so I totally eyeballed that. Oh, I forgot I can do wireframe. I totally eyeballed that. Look how far underground that is. I think when we get to here, we should just start climbing. Because we're going to have to do it. Actually, what is the gradient on this? That is a 9% grade. That is more than I want. What if I limit it to like 5 and see what happens? Let's see. 5% grade. That's crazy. But we're here. We made it. We made it up the hill. And we'll merge in right here on this little straight stretch of road. Why do I keep doing that? Because I'm having trouble looking at the background because it's just so bright. Yeah, we'll make this a straight section. Turn off the wireframe. The wrong button. Am I working in the right? Okay, thank God. Oh, thank heavens. Whoops, daisies. 5%, 5%, and then we're good from there. So there's a little bit of earthworks on this railroad, but not a ton. I don't like the way this is shaped. We're gonna need a couple culverts. This is taking a lot of time. Yeah, well, that's... Good work takes time. So next week, same time? Yes. Ideally, yes. I will make no promises, but I would very much like to make this a weekly thing. Uh, Alright. Let's see. I can definitely get lower with this. I don't know. I can't watch your streams. Will I have school? Well, you'll be able to watch them afterward. They'll go up for you to see afterward. I think I'm going to do this, which may or may not be a bad idea. I'm just going to make this flat. The time I start the stream, it's 1 a.m. there. Yikes. I'm sorry about that. It is 7 p.m. for me here in little old Rhode Island, so... Great work takes time, fill it with concrete gobbles. Yeah. I mean, half decent work takes time. I've hosted a handful of route building competitions in the past, and what people can manage to do in the span of what would effectively be one entire live stream for me, it boggles my mind. Yeah, quickcrete. It'll go even faster. I was a lot later than I thought I was. Yeah, I try to start these at 7 Eastern. I did start a little late, and then I spent half an hour, like, digging around because my sandwich was arriving, and so I had to scarf that down. So we just we drove a train for a little bit, which is not something I typically tend to do on the streams. But anyway, I would like to be completing one goal of each type, I guess, on every stream. Not that that's ever reasonably going to happen, because here I am redoing this track, and it's, you know, I could not hope to do it in one episode. Really. Reasonably. And make it good. But at least I'm doing it. Alright, so we're going to put you there. We need to figure out our spacing on the double track. Oh, right. Hold on one second. Give me your height, apply it to you, and then activate this spline point. I heard 7 p.m., so my brain thought 7 p.m. Central Time. No, 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm sorry about that. There's always confusion. I try to always operate in Eastern Time, and if I'm doing something other than Eastern, I'll say it, especially on the server as well, although on the Discord server, I usually say... I usually specify the time zone. I'm going to leave those there because I want to move those signals over. Some take 30 minutes, others take 30 minutes. I need to stop getting distracted by every single comment. But, yeah. I pretty much always work in Eastern Time. If I'm doing something other than that, I will say so. Obviously, you guys don't know, you won't know that to begin with. Like, everyone, when you say a time, everyone assumes their time zone. I'm from Rhode Island, so I'm in Eastern Time. We're not a part of New York, for those curious. We are also, we do exist, by the way, unlike what Pat might tell you. We do, in fact, exist. Those tracks on the road leave some. No, I'm not. I could have it be abandoned stuff on the road, but I'm not going to do that. They would have built their own right-of-way from the beginning, and I'm going to actually have to write that out. The other thing we're going to need to do is add some culverts because there are areas where water would become a problem. I'm doubtful that if they had built it on the road, they would ever bother to do something else. Isn't your state like 50% Providence, though? Uh, well, yes. I can't say it is, I can't say it isn't, but I will say yes. However, my state is not, uh, all the stuff from Family Guy is not here. There isn't even a Quahog, Rhode Island. I'm sorry to say. 50% of guys asking for weed. Well, no, those are in Providence. Those are, you know. Hey, you know, the worst thing someone can say is no unless you ask it to an undercover cop. In which case, the worst thing they can say is get out of the car. Uh, Come on, just get it just right. Okay, so I am moving these over so I can fit 2 tracks on this embankment. It is messing with my curves a little bit, but we're going to have to live with that. One of the best things I ever done to simulate janky track was to never but never use the advanced spline points. And that meant building everything just to the contours of the land and adjusting the land underneath it. And that was both incredibly difficult and incredibly rewarding and gave me a result like nothing I've ever built. At least nothing I've ever built on purpose. So we're going to put this there. Don't mess with my curves, bro. Alright. When I get this second track in, I will figure out the next thing to do. Although we need to put in the overhead wire for this. And this will be the only off-road section. There will be other... The rest of the railroad is going to stay as it is. Partially because I'm lazy, partially because there really is not a ton of room. Yeah, you can't imagine how laggy this is going to be when it's done. This is a computer killer now. I am lucky to be running this. It is such a hog when it comes to resources, especially if you're trying to run the AI. But it can be explained with lore. It can be explained by looking around. I need to stop reading every single comment. I say for the 5th time. I need to stop talking because my voice is going to go away and it's not going to come back. And I have an important meeting tomorrow with some folks from the New Hampshire Department of Transportation about a project we're doing for them that I'm ostensibly in charge of, or at least I'm going to be doing most of the legwork for. So I'd really like to have a voice in order to ask questions, but it's going away, guys. It's going away. It's already quarter past 9 though, so maybe I can move on to something else shortly, and before I do, I'll go get some water. I would ask Gloria to get me some water, but I believe she's taking a nap. I hope she's taking a nap. Poor thing with the headache. So, did I have any other questions? No, I think I answered them all. Let me just double check though. Yeah, no, that is it. That is all the questions from the old from last week's stream. If you are watching this afterwards and you have questions, feel free to go get water now, please. No. Feel free to post them in the comments down below. Meanwhile, I will get some water now that this is connected. Oh, I forgot I was wearing flip-flops and I thought my feet were caught in the wires under my desk. I also have to deliver a pickle spear to my dearest love. Alright. Back to what we were doing. Oh, right, I want a pickle spear. I haven't had one. Flying Dragon, if I had you on Discord, I would change your name to Banana Man. Those are pretty good. Yes? He likes anything! The dog likes pickles, apparently. Now she's upset for me making fun of the dog liking pickles. But he will just eat anything. He's like a walking garbage can. Okay. I always thought that the Bosnian gauge signs in Yugoslavia. What is Bosnian gauge? I'm not familiar with it. Is it narrow or is it wide?
Say, Daddy, stop making fun of me.
You're a living garbage disposal.
No. No. You leave our baby alone.
Ow.
That did not hurt.
It hurt my feelings.
Man.
What?
It hurt my pickle.
Maybe finding out he liked pickles was not a good thing. Alright. Yeah, these tracks are okay. I'm not in love with them. I'm not, like, super jazzed about them, but they're okay.
No,
They'll make Tyler happy, I guess.
No.
Someone's gonna have to point Tyler at this video. Matt says hi to you, and you.
Hi, guys.
Specifically, Matt. Bosnian gauge is 7.
Oh, hi, Matt.
Oh. It's 2'6". Okay. So it's 30-inch. 30-inch gauge is kind of neat. Straighten that out. Should be like the penultimate straightening. Just need to adjust that. And I think I'm okay. The one thing I think I want to do is add a spline point. Let's see. Add a spline point right here. It's a 16th less than 2'6". It would still work on proper 30-inch. Okay. Yeah. It's close enough for government work. It's the kind of thing where it's not exactly, but the stuff's not going to explode if you try to put them together. It probably wouldn't be fun. You'd probably be hunting a lot, but yeah, you could get away with it. I recently was turned on to the fact that the FRA will not regulate anything under 2-foot gauge. So you could build a 600. Wait, what did you say? Monkey Man Unlimited in modern time is like a monster has been practically a monopoly on bananas. Oh God. The lore deepens. Is true. Okay, so we have this, which is by far not the most beautiful line that I've ever built. We're gonna need to throw some culverts on it, but we built it. We built some track. Now, this is not the most beautiful, realistic track work I've ever seen, or I've ever made. Some of the curves are a little bit jank. The grades are not what you'd want out of a railroad, really. And the fact that it just does all these wonky embankments, honestly, this is probably the most realistic part, that it has all these embankments. But, it depends on what part of the track did you really want to know about the realism of. In short, Reading, I would say that straight curve straight, straights wherever possible, and flat wherever possible. And it helps when you have varied terrain that you can cut into and build on top of. So you have cuts, you have embankments. That's what makes a realistic feeling scene. Some mistakes that I made in my early days of working on trains was that the track is always sort of resting perfectly on top of the terrain instead of being in a cut or being, on a being in a cut or being on an embankment. Make extensive use of that sort of thing. Oops. One of the things was to build a trolley tunnel through this bluff right here. That was one of the things that that I sort of thought about would be an option for the trolley company. If I had gone, say, straight this way, up this hill, and then down, and then built a very short tunnel through this bluff. But, oh well. This is supposed to be a pretty hefty cliff. I'm actually probably going to make it worse. But Tyler can yell at me whether this is better or worse. Anyway, what else have we got on the docket for today? So we did the MBTC tracks. We're going to do the MBTC overhead wire next time. And the MBTC culverts. And we will do some textures here as well. But Reading, I hope that little demonstration helps your track building endeavors. Now, for the next couple minutes, let's go over to Bristol Curve, where we have some missing textures. I believe. So we're going to work these textures out a little bit. What do you think about F units? They are wonderful. I love F units. I can hear my graphics card fans spool up because this place is unhappy. We're missing some grass here, so I'll fill that in. But we're also missing some texture. Now, one of the typical things, and this is, alright, so who asked this one? This was Christopher Wood. Chris or Christopher, depending on what you want to go by. I'm going to do some texturing here, although it's not the end-all, be-all of how you should do texturing, because I'm going to be doing stuff on a very small scale. But my number one sort of thing is, unless you're using a texture in a very specific manner, that is, you are using it in a specific area to show a specific thing, always, always, always spin your textures. And that means holding down one of the bracket keys. You'll notice how this thing's going nuts. If you hold down one of the bracket keys, it'll spin your, it'll spin the texture you're placing, and it'll make it look more varied. Now, in order to help with this area doesn't just have spun textures. In fact, it has multiple textures that are all smashed together in a method that I'm not sure I've seen other people really use, but that I have used in a couple of places on the map, and that I've used extensively here in the woods. What the heck was that? What just fell? What the heck was that? What the heck? Oh, you know what? That might have been stuck on my flip-flop and fell off. So, I will do a better texture tutorial next episode, I think, because I'll be doing some more textures over on the Mason Valley tramway or trolley. But, in short, you want to use a few textures you think go well together, and you want to use them extensively. You want to, if you are using just one texture for an area, you want to, use a medium-sized brush and spin the hell out of it. If you are using multiple textures for an area, what I would actually recommend is making a section that you like, and then copy-pasting that over and over and over again. That will give you some pretty good results, I think. And that's what if you think these forests look good, that's how we got here. I made a small section over in Olive, and I wish I could remember what the original section was. It's probably gone. But I made a small section over in Olive, and then I just copy-pasted again and again and again. And I changed the orientation every once in a while and stuff like that. But by and large, I'm just using the same chunk, which has trees in it and has textures in it and has nothing else, to get this sort of modeled ground colors. You can see that it's almost like a digital camo pattern of forest floor. Now, I left this like this because this probably should be a different color. So we'll finish that off in a second. I need to find a color that goes there. But before that, I need to go up and down the river and make sure there are no other areas. Here's one. Here's one. Everything that doesn't have trees in it, I think, I probably deleted the trees on purpose. Or, actually, this might have just been an area I missed. Yeah. And then, yeah, up here, I'm pretty sure this is just an area that I missed. So we will fill this in with shrubberies. Nope. Nope. There we go. Because that will make it better. These medium height shrubs solve all sorts of problems. And then we need to find a texture for this. In fact, I need to find a place where I've already done something like that. I think right here is a good option. No, not right there. Wait. Yeah, right here. I need this texture. Now I remember what I was doing. This is one of the pieces that I've been missing from the VMR mainline. It's not a crazy, it's not a big piece. It's not even a like major set piece really, but everything that has not trees is illegal. Yeah, my game would die if I had that many speed trees. You know the thing I've learned, in a lot of cases, this can be better for performance than a butt ton of tree splines. The game does not like a ton of overlaying splines. Now that said, I've also done that, and so that's really bad. But the speed trees, they can be surprisingly optimized. Now it's different if you have shadows on and stuff like that. I have some shadows on, as you can tell. I'm not going whole hog with the shadows because I'm pretty sure my computer would detonate. But you know, it's a forest. Lots of people will tell you the virtues of speed trees close to the tracks and tree spines far away. And honestly, if I could go back to the beginning, I would consider doing it that way as well. Because it is a good system. It works, and it looks good enough. Uh, and it does a decent amount of saving performance, except for where you need it. Or, except for where you're really looking at stuff. But I really, really like the look of... And I'm going to do something real dumb here. Settings. Maximum draw distance. I love the look of seeing the trees on the distant mountains. If it will load them. There you go. And there are better places to look at this. In fact, just pointing the camera in this direction, I think, does a pretty good job of that. I really, really love just turning up the render distance and looking at look at this. Look at, it's just fuzzy. It looks like the mountain's fuzzy, and I love it. All right, we're turning that back down, though, because I don't want my computer to explode. I was half expecting the PC to fully brick. Yeah. It used to do that in Tane and on my older computer. If I tried to do that, if I tried to turn them up, I would sit there. I would get some good screenshots out of it, but I would have to sit there and wait for my computer to load in all that stuff. And it would be running at like 1 or 2 frames per second. Then I would snap my screenshot and turn it back down to a workable distance, which was, I think, 3K. So now on 2019, and with my new rig, I can run it at 5K without too much trouble. On my old computer, it got to the point where the map was basically unrunnable for me, and that's part of the reason why the series ground to an indefinite halt until, a couple weeks ago. So, let me grab this. Something else worth noting is how different certain textures look, or certain splines look, when they have certain textures underneath them. What was that? Oh. See, like this spline is the same as this spline, but this looks like dark, muddy grass, and this looks like, nice green grass. I'm going to need to drink more water in just a second. Yeah. It is, it can be tough when you want to do a mega project and don't have the computer to support it. I've watched a lot of people fall into that trap of like, oh, I'm gonna do this crazy big thing. Beyond like the, oh, that might be beyond the bounds of your capability, my dude, and I think that Tolbrand is honestly beyond the bounds of mine. I don't think I'm ever actually going to finish it. But I do think it'll keep me busy for a very, very long time, and that was kind of the point. That was always the point. Heck, that was part of the point of the Iron Horseman Chronicles. It was like, oh, we're gonna plan this way out as far as we can. We're gonna 6 scenes in a movie sort of thing, and God willing, we'll get there. And we didn't get there, but it kept us busy for quite a while. I'm getting the vibe that Tane is tough on computers. Yes, it is. Tane is Tane is worse. Tane worked way better on my computer than 2019 does. That's interesting because most people don't say that. Tane was less optimized than 19, at least as far as I can reasonably tell. Maybe I don't know what settings you have on Redding, but I found that a lot of the things that were basically unusable for me in Tane on the very same computer I could run in 2019 without exploding. But that's kind of the thing. It's like, what are you asking it to do? And I do think I am of the understanding that on lower end computers, lower than even my last desktop, which it wasn't even that low end, it was just a little dated. There is not a discernible performance increase by getting Tane. Maybe you've expanded your route since then. There was no discernible increase of 2019 over Tane for some computers that weren't able to take advantage of the upgrades that 2019 provided. It's like on an apples to apples, Tane is just lower quality picture wise in general. Yeah. At lowest graphics settings, Tane is far superior, and even argue it's one of the better programs on my computer. Well, that's good. It's not what I would typically expect, but I do understand that on computers that have trouble running 19, Tane will run better. But if it's a computer that can run 19 fairly well, it will probably run 19 better than running Tane. Just at like an apples to apples comparison. I know that's weird. I just feel like there's I assume there's just sort of a point where the no, give me the strap spline. There we go. There's just a point where the enhancements that 19 provides sort of drop off. Like, they can't help you if you're that far down. And I mean no offense, to anybody that has a poor computer. I've lived with some thoroughly garbage computers. And it sucks, I'm certainly never going to victim blame. I'm never going to say, like, oh, it's your fault, your computer's bad. I just, it screws you over. I was trying to play Shogun with Patrick the other day, and it just wasn't working, so we went to Hearts of Iron, and that wasn't working. And, like, it's not the multiplayer problem, but it's, it's a, what's the word? It's just a lack of hardware on his end, and that's a shame. Hey, how would you react by saying that between the 50 subscribed channels, you are my favorite? Aw, thank you, the Flying Dragon. I appreciate that. JVC Bush Splines, my beloved. I know, right? These things are a godsend. I'm just going to cover every patch of land that I can see with them, basically. So, let's see. That takes care of the Bristol curve textures. I'm putting Mason Valley textures on there. I think all the track marks are gone. I don't know if there are any left. I did write, hey, I should finish deleting all the track marks. Although there's the one over there that we added. There's some over here, but I think they're whistle posts. There's some over here that are definitely whistle posts. There's this guy, which is a whistle post. There are these two, which I'm pretty sure are whistle posts. And then other than that, I mean, these guys can stay. Yeah, I think this is done. I think we got all the track marks off the map. Let me clear that out. Finish leading track marks. Create naming standards. Oh boy, goals operation. Start renaming things. What do you think about electric freight railroads? We have virtually none, but they are an interesting concept. Look at the Milwaukee Road to the PRR in their mid-years. That I think they're sort of the way of the future. I mean, they're not something we can have right now, I suppose, but they're something we should be trying to get to eventually. I think, hell, here's one you missed: the New Haven. The New Haven had electric freight service, and it seems that everyone that went for electric freight service, they were served fairly well by it, and that's that's good. I use bush splines on edges, but splines farther because the objects murder frame rate. That would make sense. Okay. Would you plan on adding some electric freight services? I don't know. Maybe on the New Shoreham Tramway. Also, seeing as this is hooked up, I can start figuring out this. We've got about 20 minutes. I know I said I would show the map again. We are going to need some PCC cars. Before I start putting PCC cars, before I start putting PCC cars, I'm going to put them on the seed layer first. I'm going to have to move them to auto layer later. It depends if I'm going to start them in the car barn or not. See, previously I had them starting out on the system, but I think for a test I want them to start in the car barn. I'm not sure. Let's see. PC Panto Dummy, PCC Muni, SEPTA, EF1, Milwaukee. Oh, wait. Oh, you're kind of cute, but you're not the ones that I was trying to use. Oh, excuse me. There we go. Type 5 PCC. Alright, you know what? These are always going to be on the auto level. I've decided. I'm going to put these on the auto level. No matter where they are. I think I'm going to see if I can fit 4 outside. There we go. Oh, I'm also realizing that these aren't double-ended cars. Tolbrin has held up well in 2019, as I know some routes that originally began in Tane didn't exactly translate well in 2019, at least in my opinion. Thank you. I appreciate that. So here are these guys. Now, one of them that's going to be on the seed level is going to be this 44-tonner. There we go. I know, I've got to work on this, particularly. I've got to redo all the switch stands here and rename them. Actually, that should be on my list as well. Start renaming things. MVTC switch stands. They run PCCs 2 at a time? I mean, I suppose I could throw them on back-to-back. They just didn't run like that on the MBTA. Uh, what were the other PCCs I had? Let's check. PCC. These Muni PCC. Oh, that's a pantograph. Oh, I see. Yeah, these are not... I mean, I like them. I like the other ones better, although these have an interior. Hmm. I don't know what I want to do here, honestly. The only reason I don't like these ones now, because I do like them, they're cool, but I have to add these on every single one. These are... Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Double weight. Oh, I can't get rid of that. Oh, God. There it goes. These guys are double end. No, they're not. They just have two trolley poles. Pantographs. Okay. Is Coxsackie Cove? Yes, that is still the name. Yeah, so I'm going to use these guys then because they're simpler and less of a pain then. I'm going to need to put up the wires over here as well. It's just, this is the thing that I want to get back to automating. So let's edit session. Schedule library. Add group. Mason Valley Trolley, or sorry. I think I've mixed up whether it's Mason Valley Transit or Mason Valley Trolley Company, but it's MVTC. And let's see. Generate new drivers. Oh wait, add another driver. Sure, let's just have you. Vehicle. I'll say number one. I don't know which one is number one. You know what? Let's do it like this. MVTC 1, MVTC 2, MVTC 3, MVTC 4. And honestly, I think I want one more. That way we can have one that's here if you just want to do the seed instead of... MVTC 5. And then you are going to be MVTC 10. Silvernama has a lot of companies, yes. Yes, it does. So I actually want to move you to the layer seed. You're on seed, that's fine. You're on seed, that's fine. You're on auto. The four of you are on auto. That's good. That's good. That's exactly what I want, actually. So, oh, my back. Okay. Which one is number one? That's you. Also, I'm going to do one more thing. I'm actually going to... not the weather conditions. Quick drive rule. Set game to 5 a.m. Also, I'm going to reduce the fog. Just hold on. Edit environment. Fog density. Lower. Maybe get an old heavyweight and put it somewhere on the line in case the electric gets shut off in the 4400 SP passenger service. No, I don't think that would happen. This did admittedly used to be a much more powerful system than it is. And I think I'm going to turn down how bright this is at an environment. I think is better. Oh god. I think that's fine. Oh, wait a minute. I can change the brightness. That's what I want to do. There we go, that's better. Um, See, the thing is, if passenger demand is really high, people are going to take the train. The MVTC knows that if it ever has to get the 44 tonner out to drag passengers around, it's lost this round. There's nothing it can do. The the Valley Line, which is owned by the Gilson Eastern, uh, is going to beat them out in that respect. So there's no dice with that, I don't think. So I know that if I do this, if I go into driver setup, if I have you are in MBTC 1. You're going to wait until, let's say, 5 a.m., 5:01. And then, honestly, copy commands from append, sorry, insert, perhaps, from vehicle, no. Copy commands from, oh, you know what, I bet I don't have a, would you add a steeple cab to the line? I don't need one, otherwise I would consider it. Hold on, what am I missing here? Copy commands from. I do that. Let me just go into here. Let me add a schedule. MVTC main full service. So I'm just going to say drive to, all right, navigate to industry. You know what? Do I have just the MVTC stations? Yes. MVTC Mason's Landing Station, Platform 1. Check. Check that. It's there. Driver setup, edit. I feel like when you go redo all the AI commands for the route, it's just going to be a recreation of the sad troll face staring at a computer monitor. Copy commands from. Oops. Copy commands from. There we go, from library. So it'll replace this with that. I think. It's just, the only difficult thing is, it needs to go back to, this is why I need to think about it. The train needs to, they need to leave at different times. They all get the same schedule. They complete that schedule, they come back here, they slot themselves into their specific locations. Makes me sad that they replace the old driver icons. Yeah. Oh well. Insert commands from library. Control 501. Insert these commands. And that's going to tell it to run the schedule. And then when it's done with the schedule, it's going to come back. When it comes back, then it's going to pull in. If I could get a team of trains users to help you make the route, would you take the opportunity? Probably not. This is my passion project, and as much as I love the collaborative aspect that you can have with trains. If I had a whole team, I would do some other stuff with it. I wouldn't do this. I'm gonna rack my brain here for a minute. Okay, so that's half baked. We're gonna save and exit. We're gonna exit Surveyor, or I'm gonna save first. Override existing route and override existing session. Yes. And then I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to share my desktop instead. Whoop, there we go. Just realized I'm not centered. The old faces are there, yeah. And I'm going to go to pictures. Let's see, where's maps? Maps, Tolbrand, and then the latest one I think was this one, although this is probably it. This is the paint.net image. That's what I was showing last time. Well, that would help you if I had trains. I'm sorry. So you know, I think I'm gonna have to use that go to first available. Sort by date modified. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna have to go use that go to first available just to have these cars slot back into here, and I'll have to put this guy somewhere else. I'll have to put him like out here in the back, and I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 pull in. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm gonna make a note to myself. MVTC track marks. MVTC track marks. Set up for first available command. I think I misspelled available. Whatever. I could, you're right. I think I'm going to leave it like this for now, though. Okay, so let's look at the map real quick before we have to round up. As for railroads, we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Although the Temporal Surveillance Anaconda is not on the printable or the creatable portion of the map. It would probably be up here. We have the Gilson Eastern in light blue. So the part we've created is this. Hold on, let me show you what... Whoop, that's what we've done so far. So we're working on this right now. We have this built. We have this built and this built. We have this built, this mom spaghetti right here. You'll notice that there are no dashed or dotted lines on the orange because, yeah, the narrow gauge, the 3-foot gauge, doesn't have any abandoned sections. Hi, Lafayette. Hey, good boy. All right, come here. Oh, no. Come in. There we go. All right. So, it doesn't have any abandoned sections. This is the Geiger Mountains, by the way. Hi. There's also the Mansfield Branch Railroad, which is right there in purple. There is the Mason Valley, the New Shoreham Tramway here in yellow. That's going to be mostly electrified. You could see some electrified freight there. And then this red is the Zion and Skyline, the coal hauler I mentioned earlier. Ow! That was hard. You bit me hard. So yeah. That is Coxsackie Cove right down there.
Where's my son?
I've got him. I stole him.
Hi, good boy. Hi.
That is almost not. That is nothing, and we are almost at 200 episodes. That is the way this works. Uh, the point is, it's going to keep me busy for a very, very long time, possibly forever. Someday in the future, I might end up just making other portions of it. Who knows? Again, point is, it's going to keep me busy. Someday, I might end up having to just rip out the trees or something and recreate them from scratch. But
Was Daddy hoping you have to?
yes, I was. Um, Graham, you were very late. I'm about to end the stream. But I hope that has answered the questions we have today, except, of course, Christopher, where do you make these maps? Paint.net. Paint.net. Spelled paint.net.com, I think. Just look up paint.net on Google. It's like Paint, except it also has layering functionality and stuff like that. So, anyway, otherwise you could say it's all hand-drawn. Thank you guys for coming to this live stream. Hi, my love.
Hi.
And we will see you again next weekend for, or next Thursday, for more of the same. Hi. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. This episode of Under Construction. It is the project of a lifetime. Welcome to the eternal project that is Tolbrand, the Flying Dragon. I'm glad you finally understand. At least 10 years? That's lowballing it. I'll see you guys next week for another wonderful week. Remember, comments, questions down below.